Hallmark Releasing, which was a division of Esquire Theaters. And I was their head buyer, their head booker, before I went out on my own. And they were a slightly shady operation. And I fitted in perfectly with them. And I booked, they had over 100 screens at that time. And they had drive-ins, sex houses, everything, commercial houses, everything. And this young man came to me. He came up from New York, and he had a film with him. And he said, would you be interested in showing this movie? And I screened it, and the movie was called Together. And it just happened that it was an X-rated movie. It was a sex film, and we had sex houses. We had houses that we played this, but it had two important extras, in that the star of the film was a young woman named Marilyn Chambers, and she had been the Ivory Snow Girl. She had been on the boxes of Ivory Snow, the detergent, as personifying purity and beauty and being Ivory Snow clean. Okay? So we have her in this movie fucking. Okay? Perfect. And we also have her with a black man. This very handsome, beautifully physique black man. So he said, well, Phil looked at it and I looked at it and said, we could make more money if this was an R-rated movie instead of just a sex movie, because we've got this young woman that we can exploit. And she had one scene which we could get by the R-rated to make it an R-rated. And it was the black man is prone, very handsome, gorgeous body, all muscles rippling, and you see his cock hanging down, and it's soft. Of course, soft, it was huge, but at any rate, it's lying there, and Marilyn Chambers comes along with the yellow flower, and she traces the yellow flower. She never touches his dick. She just traces the yellow flower on his super black dick, and the dick goes up. And that's the scene. We sold the movie, R-rated, see the Ivory Snow Girl together. The filmmaker was a young man named Sean Cunningham. Okay? So, the Sean Cunningham, we go out all over the place, and we make a fortune on the movie. So he comes back and he says, you screwed me. You gave me $10,000 for the movie, and you made, maybe we made $1 million. Back then, that was a big deal. You didn't give me, and I said, well, look, you would never have been able to make the prints. We owned the movie houses that we put the movies in. We devised an ad campaign. What do you want? We paid you, and, that's the way it is. Tough titty. And then my boss said, look, kid, we'll give you $50,000 to make a movie. Come back to us with a script, and you give it to George, and he'll read it, and if he thinks it's all right, we'll give you the money to make the film. So he came back and he gave me a script of a movie called Krug and Company, and that was Last House on the Left. So we tried it. So we said, okay, go ahead and make it. They made the movie, and we tried it out in the drive-in. It dropped dead. Krug and Company. So we need a new title. So we tried it as Sex Crime of the Century. Nothing. We tried it as Men's Room, just because I liked the title, and we could have like tiles with blood on it and written in it on the title. That didn't work either. But then someone from our other office came up and said, we'll call it Last House on the Left. And they came up with the tagline, keep repeating, it's only a movie. And the picture went through the roof. And it's one of the most profitable movies. Ultimately, it cost They claim now, according to Variety, $85,000, and it grossed $4 million. So that in proportion, it's one of the most profitable films made. And of course, we made more than $4 million. We stole money completely off the top of the thing. He didn't make that movie, however. When he came back, he gave us the script and we gave him the money. And I said, well, when are you going to start filming? And he said, well, I'm not going to film this. I'm going to be the producer. I want to be a producer now. So he hired a young man who evidently was the real writer of the script, not him. His name was Wes Craven.
Which you all know and cherish.
Who we all know and cherish. So if it hadn't been for me, there'd be no Wes Craven today.
So you